we're there. If Master Matt is still there, I'll be back. I should be back in a few. All right, welcome, Master Matt. Welcome. I hope you can hear me. Let me get my original music, cause I am also a music producer. I make music on a different YouTube channel and have it on every major music platform. So let me get the music here running, cause honestly,
Well, you want the bad news or the really bad news?
thank you, Azoka. You don't have to be a smart ass, but you know. The bad news is that my audio interface crashed, so I had to restart the stream after an hour. I've been streaming for like an hour, almost 2 hours, and it had to go down to shit. So I guess my computer decided to do a it always a thing like that. But you know what? You know what?
And I fear nothing.
I fear nothing. I fear nothing. Nothing's gonna stop me. Nothing is gonna stop me, you know? And I hope you get to enjoy the format, because I do it radio style, because, one, I studied radio on college, so it's my favorite way of doing content. And I don't have much of a good video presence, if I might say. The only video presence I have that is good is music video. So you would only see me use the camera on my music stuff. This is the way. It is. It sure is. So this show is as good as Han Solo. And Han Solo said once. Yeah, I do have a lot of sounds to clip by from Star Wars, you know. So whatever I'm talking about, if I can click on a sound, I'll do it, you know. And, and at the same time, Chewbacca says, "Hurr." And so you know, I also stream on Twitch at the same time. So yeah, we all know that streaming can be something crazy. So C3PO once told me.
We're doomed.
So thank you for the comment there, for the great soundboard. Cause
This is madness.
honestly, I can't take it anymore. It's driving me nuts when that freaking I don't know if it's my audio interface or if it's my computer itself that might need an upgrade, but it's just crazy, you know. It's just crazy, and I guess the computer's trying to get technical with me, right? Am I right, C3PO?
Don't get technical with me.
No, don't get technical with me. Not at all. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. But then again, the computer always tells me.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
And I'm like, come on. Come on. Emperor Palpatine, really? But then again, Emperor Palpatine once said, if you want to understand the Force, you have to understand the good and the bad. If you want to be knowledgeable about the Force. So I guess if I want to understand radio show, I gotta understand there's bad and there's good. There's always times where the show's gonna go down to the drain, and sometimes the show's gonna be in its total peak. So yeah. Anyways, Master Matt, if you could like the show, I would be appreciative of that. You can subscribe and thank you, Master Matt. Thank you. You know, it's my little quirk here on the show, cause If I wasn't for that, I wouldn't have the labs. Am I right, Jabba? Yeah, I know. It is one of those things, you know. We have to entertain somehow, you know. We can't always have serious discussion. This is not Star Wars theory. This is not Star Wars theory. This is Star Wars chatter, where we just chit chat casually, talk about Star Wars, and do little sound bites and sounds of Star Wars. You know, I'm trying to make this show like, you know, those old school radio shows where they were just laugh, talk, and throw sound bites that were potty sound bites and comedic sound bites to you know, entertain the people a bit more, you know, and enhance the stuff, because honestly, the world is I appreciate that. Master Matt. I appreciate that, you know, because, you know, in my world, we are serious at some degree. But honestly, come on, why be all serious, you know?
I don't speak that.
Yeah, I don't speak that either, Finn. We don't speak seriousness. This is not Star Wars theory where we are all serious. No. This is your place to enjoy yourself and be funny and just have a good time, you know? It's just a hangout. It's like if you were casually with your friends and you were just talking about Star Wars and music and you're making fun of things, you know? Sometimes we do get serious and get ourselves our news reporter voice and start talking about Star Wars news, like how Andor's new trailer depicts a lot of things politically speaking, and the people around, the ones that acted and produced Star Wars Andor, just noted out that it's gonna have a lot of political innuendo based on Trump time, and it's gonna have images and indirect messages of exactly. If glad you noticed the background, glad you noticed the cantina. Thank you, because that's what I wanted. Like, you're in the cantina, just chilling, drinking. Speaking of the cantina, have you heard about that drink on the Disney park cantina, where you drink it and it numbs your tongue and your lips? I saw a video. I went to the Disney park of Galaxy's Edge, you know, and I missed out my chance to go to the bar, but I saw a video about that drink, and I'm like, holy shit, that drink literally numbs your tongue and your lips. The guy couldn't speak for 5 minutes straight. He was like, hi there, girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? Man, I guess your voice is all fucked up now, and we can't deal with that anymore, you know? I guess you got fucked in the mouth, you know? And Tripio might have said,
How rude!
yeah, how rude. Oh, dude, I am so hyped. I have a Blu-ray of Rogue One, and I was plowing that DVD the other day. Yeah, are you talking about the Galactic Star Cruiser? Because I've never been there. That's too expensive for me. I mean the you know, the regular Disney park park on the Galaxy's Edge. There's a, yeah, it's just a tiny drip. That's the really expensive one, the 5K drink. But I'm talking about the cantina, not on the Star Cruiser. I'm talking about the cantina. It's like a slushy. And the slushy has some ingredient that numbs your lips and your tongue, and it gets them really cold. And I'm like, holy shit. And speaking of Galaxy's Edge, I actually tried blue milk, and I'm gonna say that tasted really good. That tasted really good, if you ask me. Oh, by the way, the music in the background is my original music. And yes, I am really excited for the new shows to come out. Andor seems really nice. You know, it's a spy thriller. So, dude, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be like the pinnacle of spy stuff, you know? You know? Am I right, Battle Droid?
Roger, Roger.
Thank you. Thank you. It does make sense that it's going to be good. Because we all do have the things planned out. Am I right, Bodhi?
We have the plans.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But why do you sound a little scared with the plans? Are you scared the Galactic Empire is gonna throw us down? Don't worry. It's not a trap, like Admiral Akbar would say. But anytime there is problems, we do have to sound the alarm of problems, you know? Oh, yeah. And I did actually make myself my own lightsaber. And you want to hear a funny story out of that lightsaber moment? When I was building my lightsaber, the guy that was dressed as a... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I have a few songs in the works, and now that I started this new YouTube channel of all Star Wars related, I'm also doing... I'm also starting to do, grabbing clips of Star Wars and making like a funny edit with like techno music, all done scratch by me. The only thing that I didn't do would be the clips of Star Wars, obviously. It's just that I do the song, and then from there I try to make those clips feel like the lyrics of the song. And yeah, I can't wait to see the Imperial Senate for the first time. And yeah, exactly, not Palpatine, cause the Imperial Senate wasn't really shown that much in the prequels, if you ask me. They were mostly like mentioned and shown like shortly, but on Andor it seems like they're gonna show a lot of the Imperial Senate, and there's a lot of things we can note out from the trailer, if you ask me. I was talking about that earlier, and we can discuss that now. So let's talk about this for a moment here. There's a lot of good things. So the new trailer came out of Andor, and I like to mention a few things that I've mentioned in the previous stream, but before it crashed and died. So let's take a closer look at that trailer and let's discuss it here for a moment. So the show has in store for us a lot of stuff, and let's get a chance to discuss it here. So the Empire is at an expansion mode. We already saw hints of this in the first teaser with the opening drums, but the threat seems bigger than ever when the Star Wars Star Destroyer appears in the sky. From what we've seen in both trailers, my guess is that we are going to open the series with the Empire invading a planet, where I think we will find Diego Luna's character Cassian Andor. So the place we see in the first 3 shots of the trailer, ending with a massive Star Wars Star Destroyer eclipsing the sun in a shot very reminiscent of the opening moments. That's in the trailer when you see the Star Destroyer like flying really fast, and then they're like staring at it from like an angle, and that opening moment of A New Hope is reminiscent to that, and it seems to be from Scottish Highlands, the actual scenario, because this show is the first show of Star Wars ever since Disney Plus debuted it. that won't be using the volume. The volume, as we all know, is, or you might not know, is the place where they do like the in real life, or IRL, as we say on here on the internet, IRL CGI. They step on that stage, and all the CGI comes to life with projectors and screens and whatnot, and they're easy to record on camera. So yes, the poetry in Star Wars is amazing. It's extremely amazing. It's something that I adore too. There's a lot of things we can note out that relate and mirror the real life of Star Wars, and even though most of the continents and planets of Star Wars seem distant, like it says on the intro, from a galaxy far, far away, we can totally note out that they relate to the real world. So it's not different at all shapes and forms to the reality that we live. Like my brother told me this morning. Sure, they might say that Andor's gonna have criticism of Trump and how the women nowadays lost rights for abortion and all that kind of stuff. But we can say that the prequels with Palpatine could simulate what George Bush was, a fake. He was trying to show us a face, but in reality was not. You know and there's like a double standard there. So my brother said, sure, they might be saying that now, but Star Wars has been a political criticism since the beginning of time. The Galactic Empire clearly denotes those countries that are oppressed by the government, like the countries that live by socialist political ideals, and countries that live under, you know, um, communist political ideals. And if we want to go close in time, we have the Ukrainian and Russian war. Doesn't that resemble the same thing as the Galactic Empire or the First Order and the Resistance or the Rebel Alliance? It makes sense to me, at least, because Russians are just bombarding Ukraine. Ukraine is trying to resist and fight against the Russians, and they're not gonna let the Russians dictate what they want and how they're gonna do things. They're gonna fight back as much as possible. And when we see Star Wars, isn't that what the Galactic Empire is doing? If we see the in that time when they destroy at first I didn't see the none of that. I didn't see any of that political stuff on Star Wars at first, but ever since I started doing this radio show of Star Wars, I noticed some of those similarities, and then noticing while reading all these articles that some of the screenwriters and actresses do actually say on interviews that it is for reals that we do criticize politics in many ways. It is a thing. If you ask my mom, what does she understand by Star Wars? She doesn't see politics. She sees religion. She sees religion. Jedis being Christians, as my mom says, or Buddhist monks. They're both ways mom sees them. And the Sith Lords and the dark side being the ones that terrorize, the ones that are evil, the ones that like to use their power for bad. And then when my mom saw The Last Jedi, she said, I told you this was all about religion. You see, Emperor Palpatine looks like the devil. Exactly like the devil. And I was like, well, I see where you're going, but, it's a little different. It's not exactly that, but Okay, he's sure. He is a Force ghost at that moment. And probably the first ever dark side user to achieve the Force, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But those scenes, are so devastating to look at and so cool at the same time. You know, they are really cool to look at. You know. But yeah, like I was saying about Star Wars Andor, um, um, my guess with all this getting to the reaction shots and the Imperial, um, exactly, yeah, in canon, yes, in canon, okay, because I've only read so much about the books and the extended universe. The only books I own of Star Wars are some Marvel comics here and there scattered. Um, the whole entire volumes and all the entire thing. Right, Nihilus. Yes. How could I forget Kotor? How could I forget Kotor? How could I forget that? You know, and then in Legends. Speaking of Old Republic moments, Revan is the first ever non-canon character that has been light and dark at the same time. Because Revan's, if you look at Revan's story, Revan's is the type of person that he was first a Padawan. From Padawan, he became Jedi. He then fights the Mandalorians. He kills the leader of the Mandalorians from that era. And then from there, he becomes Darkseid. Then he dies. He's brought back to life. And when he's brought back to life, he's good and bad at the same time. He's dark side and light side at the same time because his body got divided into two. That's how they say it on the canon, on the non-canon story of Rebens. But if you ask me, that's a bit far-fetched, a big stretch. That's crazy. That's crazy if you ask me. And if they ever bring that to like canon, I don't know how they're gonna do that. That's kind of crazy, but they could, cause we're starting to see more Mandalorians in the Star Wars mainstream canon line. You know, well, not only the ones we saw in Clone Wars, but we're seeing now the other ones are like Mando and such. You know, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna show us more Mandalorians here and there, cause exactly. Yeah. Purple lightsaber. Mm. Purple is one of my favorite colors of lightsabers. When I saw Mace Windu for the first time and I saw that purple lightsaber, I was like, yo, that's cool. And speaking of that, the reason why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber, and it's because since a kid, he was a huge fan of the color purple. This guy, Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson was always a fan of purple. So yeah, there's a lot of Darth characters now that you mentioned Nihilus that I would love for them to be in the big screen. What? Really? I never noticed. And I've seen Rise of Skywalker quite a few times, and I saw the Clone Wars, and then saw the Essential episodes. You know, that little playlist they did on Disney Plus, because I wasn't gonna watch the whole thing for Obi-Wan. That was gonna be too much for that short time, you know. Because I'm a slow watcher. Since I do this radio show pretty often, I'm most of the time either composing music, playing a video game or doing this show, so it takes a lot of time of my day. So I only have the chance to watch things either really late at night or randomly in the mornings, because I have two times on the day where I do this show. Either I do it at 12 p.m. Puerto Rico hour, or I do it at 8, 9 p.m. ish on the night, you know. And I live in Puerto Rico, just so you know the time frame. I don't know from where you're tuning in, but you might be a few hours difference, or you might be on the same time zone. I don't know. It's one of those things. But I didn't know that about the Easter eggs of Skywalker and Rise of Skywalker and Clone Wars. I do wish we had a live action retail story or something of Plagueis, you know. I would like to see when Emperor Palpatine was yeah, slow and steady wins the race for sure does. And like my brother said, if you're gonna do a Star Wars radio show, make sure to be aware you're gonna compete with Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Explains and Jabba the Hutt podcast. And I'm like, and Rebel Force Radio, and I'm like, ouch. You know, and they have a huge following, and I'm just here. I'm just a tiny little motherfucker. But the good thing of me being a small radio show host at the moment is that I can cater to my listeners more personal than what Star Wars Theory can. What's sad about Star Wars Theory nowadays, since he gets so many viewers, the only chat messages he reads are the ones that super chat. He only reads super chats. And I'm like, ouch. So you have to literally throw in money so he can read your message. That's a shame. I wish it was both ways. Either you super chat because you felt like it, or you just type in and they just read whichever, you know. And that's my benefit. I'll read whichever, either a super chat or regular message. So we can start a new discussion here on the most powerful Sith Lords around the Star Wars universe. Whether they're canon or not, they're still a Sith Lord, and they are awesome. So Star Wars teaches us that there is a balance in all things. For every selfless act of kindness, there is a selfish act of cruelty to counteract it. Yes, and the dark side. Many people say that the dark side is a philosophy for people to gain power. They're always asking for power, more power, more power. But if you see the story of Anakin when he becomes Darth Vader, it clearly shows that the dark side does not give you power. In fact, it just destroys you completely. Darth Vader is a Sith Lord just because Emperor Palpatine wanted it to be it that way. But Anakin, in reality, on that fight on Mustafar, he was completely toasted like a piece of fucking burned food, you know? It was just burned food. Right there. If it weren't for Emperor Palpatine, bring him to his place and then re-establishing all those parts to become Darth Vader, he wouldn't be alive, you know? And as we see on the Kenobi series, we can see that he's always on that on that bath, you know, where they rejuvenate, you know? Yeah, it should pop a little faster for my end. It does pop faster if I'm looking at straight on the chat on YouTube, but if I'm looking at this on the add-on, it takes a little bit. So I could have the chat open. So yeah. So noted.
Roger, Roger.
Sounds like a plan, you know? Like Chewbacca would say. So let me get that running. I should have that running, you know? Because the add-on takes a little time to update. Because the add-on is working on a third-party service. But just so you know, Master Matt, I'm live almost every day, so you can have these discussions more often than not. And if you didn't catch the radio show, you can re-listen to it on pre-recorded. You know, I leave them on. And if you ever feel like it, I also do I also do this on Twitch at the same time. So yeah, the dark side eats away host eventually, and I believe that's why they crave power to live. You know, yeah, I agree. You know, the dark side is it's a bad thing. And if I lived in the Star Wars universe, I would honestly be a gray Jedi, nor bad nor good. There is no such thing as light side or dark side. It's all about doing what's right, you know? It's all about doing what's right. Damn it. Keep turning off my fucking iPad. Little chat. So it'd be a thing, you know, it'd be a thing. Let me get this over here. Get my iPad in front of me so I can see the chat. Actually, let me move you a little bit there. I don't need the mouse for the most part. Oh, that works. That totally works. Let me get the chat. Alright, there we go. So like I was gonna read here from this article here. So the Star Wars teaches us that there's always a balance in things. For every selfless act of kindness, there's selfish acts of cruelty to counteract it, you know? And but yeah. So just for every Jedi tasked with protecting the galaxy, there is a Sith determined to conquer it. And speaking about the Jedis, you know, Master Matt, I can totally say that the Jedi Code is a bunch of baloney. I'm just gonna put it out there. And if we see this joke video of the Empire was right, you know, they say that the Jedis they take the kids from their families when they're really young, and then they put the little helmet to train them on the Force and whatnot, and that really doesn't seem like right in a way. But in general, it is the way it kind of should, because what better age to train, you know? you learn how to speak. You developed the most. You're more impressionable when you're a kid, rather than when you're a teenager. Because when you're a teenager, you act like Anakin, all rebellious and anxious, you know. So I do think that the Jedi's are kind of weird in that sense, but at the same time, I do think they are good on that sense. So, the dark side tends to be more forgiving on that, you know? Tends to be more forgiving on that side. So, for both the galaxy and the viewing audience at home, the Sith Lords are a source of terror and fascination. Sith value strength and power, and they will go to any lengths to obtain them. They're so imposing of powerful, and it seems impossible for the good guys to defeat them. That is until the light side of the Force eventually triumphs through love, friendship, and teamwork. So today, I'm gonna discuss a little bit of the most powerful Sith Lords around the galaxy of Star Wars. Some might be extended universe Sith Lords, some might be canon. So keep that in mind. So before we mention those, let's get the intro of the show. I should have played that a long time ago. But here we go.
The power of the dark side.
Welcome to Star Wars Chatter, hosted by Andrew Mazark. Now you're losing your power.
All right. Now we're back into the show. So, who do you think are the strongest Sith Lords out there? Do you think they're gonna mention Darth Vader? Do you think we're gonna talk about Darth Maul? I'm just mentioning canon ones at the moment because I don't want to spoil the whole list here. But starting off at number 15, Darth Malak, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Alec Squingersmoose came to the Galactic Republic as a refugee for his homeworld of Quelli. The Outer Rim planet had been one of many attacked beyond the borders of the Republic prior to the Mandalorian War, when he was discovered to be force sensitive. He began training as a Jedi at the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine. It was as a Padawan to Master Sar Lesting that Alec first met Revan. Both Padawans instantly became close friends over their shared desire for knowledge. When Revan fell to the dark side, it was inevitable that Alec would be overwhelmed by such power. He became Darth Revan's apprentice as Darth Malak. During a Jedi raid on his master flagship, Malak sensed opportunity and betrayed his former friend by ordering his fleet to destroy Revan's ship. Alright. That's huge information there to keep in mind. Let me check if the stream is running perfect. Alright, I want to make sure that you can all still hear me, because I don't want the thing that happened last time happen again. Okay, perfect. That you can all hear me perfectly fine. So if you're still there, Master Matt, let's continue talking about the let's continue talking about the strongest starts of the entire franchise of Star Wars. So though Revan survived and was taken away by the Jedi, Malak became a new Dark Lord of the Sith, and he ruled the Sith Empire ruthlessly. Though Revan would eventually return to the light side and defeat Malak, Malak had a masterful control over the dark side, especially when channeling the energies of the Asian Star Forge. Malak could choke multiple opponents at once and conjure a storm of force lightning that would incapacitate anyone unlucky enough to be caught in it. So that'd be a thing, you know. And on number 14, we got Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace. Though Darth Maul didn't get much time to shine in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, there is much more to this Sabrak that meets the eye. As the young child on Dathomir, Maul was taken in by Darth Sidious as an apprentice. Already praised at a young age for his strength and fighting skills, Maul became even better under Sidious training. And to mention out something here, when Darth Maul becomes shown in the Star Wars story, in a way, we see how Emperor Palpatine by that time breaks the rule of two. There shouldn't be more than one apprentice and Dark Lord at the same time. You know, it should be the rule of two. You know. So, regarded as one of the best lightsaber duelists in the galactic history, aka I have to note out something here, that I actually met Ray Park on a convention. I met him, and he's awesome. He's a nice person to talk to, and he's actually he used to be a martial artist, or still is. I'm not really sure, and that's why he could do double stunts instead of having to get a double actor for his stunts. So Maul also possessed a cunning that made him a far deadlier opponent than his bestial appearance would suggest. Unfortunately, his emotions and revenge served as his greatest weakness. Time and again, Obi-Wan Kenobi used Maul's pride and overconfidence against him. So number 13, Darth Vader. Lord Vader, Episode 4, A New Hope. The story of Anakin Skywalker is one of tragedy. The young slave got his dream of living to become a Jedi, only for that unbridled power to be his undoing. Through the temptations of Dark Sidious, Anakin fell to the dark side and became the legendary and infamous Darth Vader. As a Sith Lord, Vader became the opposite of all the Jedi's, what all the Jedi stood for. Where the Jedi's instructed to show restraint, Vader had none. Fully embracing his more terrifying skills, Vader's force powers could devastate entire starships, as seen during his killing spree in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Anakin's skills with a lightsaber continued as Vader's an expert duelist. Vader led the charge to hunt down any surviving Jedi. There may have been Sith more powerful, but there have been no Sith as frightening or wicked as Darth Vader. So, Master Matt, for you, for all of you listening here on the radio show, I want you all to answer me this question. I want you all to answer me this question. Alright, wait 1 second. I'm trying to get the chat back in here. Alright. So Master Matt, or anyone listening here on the Star Wars Chatter radio show, do you think if Anakin would have had all the things he was asking to have, like become a part of the be a Jedi Master, and all those things that pissed him off from the Jedi Code and all that stuff, do you think he would have still fallen to the dark side, or do you think that would have helped to stop from him becoming Darth Vader and killing all the younglings and whatnot? You know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think that would have been the case? I think there's many what ifs within this theory that I'm gonna do, but Anakin. Well, I do think in a way Anakin should have never been master. Even if he was a goody two-shoe boy, I still think he shouldn't have been a grandmaster, because he was a little bit too arrogant. He would see things differently than other Jedis, and he was always thinking of, I'm gonna attack you, I'm gonna kill you. And the Jedis don't kill. The Jedis only think on doing what's right, and that's it, you know. So I sorry about that. I would think that there's many what ifs within this story, you know, and then Count Dooku comes to play. What would have happened if by Attack of the Clones, on that fight with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Count Dooku, what if Count Dooku would have killed Anakin right there? You know? That could have been so devastating in so many ways, because that could have changed the story in so many levels. But the thing is, they couldn't have done that because we already saw the original trilogy, and Darth Vader is Darth Vader, and it's what makes Star Wars Star Wars. So we had to see Darth Vader by then on Episode 3. But if that wasn't the case, and we were going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of 6, instead of 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, we would have had the chance to have seen Count Dooku rise to power. But I digress, because Count Dooku wasn't in the dark side for dark side reasons. He was in the dark side for political reasons. You know, he was the leader of the Separatists. So number 12, Ulic Qel-Droma, from Star Wars Tales of a Jedi, the Dark Lord of the Sith. Another former Jedi turned Sith, Ulic Qel-Droma has since become a legendary figure among Sith. As a Jedi, Ulic was notable for requiring very little training as a Padawan. His gift with the Force were largely natural. However, the lack of sufficient training ensured that Ulic was an overconfident Jedi, believing himself capable of resisting Force abilities that were off limits to Jedis. Ulic became more and more corrupt as he explored his new gifts. Ulic's two greatest skills were mind control and increasing agility. In skirmishes as a Sith, Ulic uses the Force to confuse and keep his opponents off balance. By the way, we're listening to Mike Bliss. He's one of my favorite streamers at the moment, and a nice musician. So at number 11, we got Darth Tyrannus. So in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Dooku was once a Jedi and once one of the Order's best. Dooku was considered the best lightsaber instructor in the Jedi Order for his mastery of the Form 2 Makashi dueling style. However, over time, Dooku became to grow disillusionated with the Jedi Order and their role in guarding the increasingly corrupt Galactic Republic. Darth Sidious had already been eyeing Dooku as replacement for Darth Maul due to Dooku's galactic connections and combat to Dooku's galactic connections experience. After the death of Qui-Gon Jinn, Dooku left the Jedi Order. For the former Jedi was quickly recruited as a Sith Lord. As a dark side villain, the new Darth Tyrannus was powerful, capable of dueling multiple Jedis at once without breaking a sweat. Even Master Yoda could only fight Tyrannus to a draw. Tyrannus also had access to Force Lightning. The impressive power is noted for being difficult for all but the most powerful Sith to conjure. You know, they say that Count Dooku, the strongest one, only Yoda could fight him, yada yada yada. Are you serious? We do see on, well, how can I put this out here? You know, I'm trying to clear out my thoughts here. So when we see Revenge of the Sith, we see that Anakin clearly just kills fucking Dooku right there. So is he really the strongest one? Maybe he's extremely powerful, but not the strongest one. You know, Anakin, without being Sith yet, was destroying Dooku at that moment. I don't know if Dooku let himself get killed, or he really actually defeated Dooku at that moment. And Emperor Palpatine was like, do it, chop his head off, cut it off, do it. And I'm like, oh, Anakin, you idiot. Falling into the dark side. So number 10, Darth Malgus, the Old Republic. An important figure in the history of the Old Republic. It was Darth Malgus who led the resurgent Sith Empire to obtain revenge against the Republic. In addition, he claimed the galaxy for the Sith. After receiving severe injuries and scars from Saddle Shan during the Battle of Alderaan, Malgus required a specialized mask to support his breathing. Malgus used his anger at the Republic and the Jedi to draw on a variety of dark side abilities. Malgus was noted for being especially proficient with telekinesis. So number 9, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? This tale about Darth Sidious Master is what begins Anakin's first steps into the dark side of the Force. And known for his fascination for knowledge, Plagueis spends most of his tenure as Dark Lord of Sith focused on his research. While Sidious carved power and conquest, Plagueis sought to master the Force itself. Plagueis' growing achievement was learning to use the Force and midichlorians to create life. This excelled to the point where Plagueis could prevent a life form from dying. Plagueis was no slouch in combat either. His opponents were easily subdued by his saber skills and force abilities. However, the power that Plagueis craved above all, immortality, was forever beyond his reach. Only the light side of the Force could unlock true immortality despite his power. Plagueis was eventually killed in his sleep by Sidious, for Sidious had recognized Plagueis' one fatal flaw. Quoting here, he could save others from death, but not himself. There you have it. So there's a lot more dark side characters we could talk about, like Revan, like Emperor Vitiate. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I would have problems. Marka Ragnos, Darth Bane, Darth Traya, which is I do like her outfit, and then the way that she like floats the lightsabers around her. Exar Kun, Darth Nihilus, Darth Sidious, and much more. You know, we can talk about so many dark side or Sith lords on this list and on this show. You know, but I still think my favorite would always be Darth Maul. I think he's like the only one with a dual saber when it comes to dark side. You know, a regular dual saber, because I know we have the Inquisitors that do have dual sabers, but I mean a regular one, not a traditional looking dual saber, not a spinny, you know. So yeah, that be a thing, you know. But anyways, thank you all for listening to the radio show. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. It's super important. And make sure to stay tuned for more live shows like this. I have a new video that's going to come out tomorrow for those of you listening. So let's get that running. I'll catch you on the flip side. And for those of you on Twitch, I'm going to go raid No Hit Jerome. So let's go do that. Let me go raid No Hit Jerome, and we'll move on to better places. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios, amigos. So like I said, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notified. Follow me on Twitch. Follow my music channel, Andrew Van Zark, and you can find my music on every major music platform. So let's get it running.